Tula, and I'm here with Barb Silverthorne, Head of Innovation and Assistive Technology.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today.
At Able-Lite, we believe that the world shines brighter when people with developmental disabilities achieve their full potential. And that's why we are committed to pioneering life-changing services that empower people to thrive. One of our key impact areas is innovation and technology. And at Able-Lite, we use technology to help people with disabilities in all kinds of ways, from increasing safety and security to enabling higher levels of independence. In fact, right now, we're at Able-Lite's Innovation Center in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This space has been outfitted with all kinds of smart tech, some of which we're going to talk about today. And so we can do tests, conduct research, and invite others in the community to come and join us and check out what we're doing. As I said, we are going to look at some smart tech today, and we're going to talk about some ways that our viewers at home can incorporate tech into their own homes and help their loved ones with disabilities. So Barb, do you want to lead us in?
Sure, I'd be happy to. We're going to watch some video in just a couple minutes that talks about 3 pieces of technology that your loved one can use to help them increase their independence. They're very simple pieces of technology that need nothing more than Wi-Fi. The first is a smart speaker, an Echo Show, and that can help them do all sorts of things. That particular speaker includes a screen, and that screen can be very helpful, providing not just the smart speaker or the voice interaction, but also including touch, which can help those who maybe have more challenging verbal skills. And then we have a bubble tube, which is kind of like a lava lamp, but that can actually help people that have some challenging behavior issues or just need to kind of de-escalate or unwind at the end of the day. And it's just a really neat option for them. And then we have an AI or a smart toothbrush, which is really good for giving some real-time feedback and helping to develop those good oral hygiene skills. So let's take it away with that video now.
Hello, I am Rach. I am a graduate of Able-Lite College, and I am excited to be here today to learn about technologies that help people out.
Hi Rach, have you ever used any smart speakers?
No, I have not.
These 2 devices are Amazon Alexa Shows, so that means that in addition to being smart speakers, they actually have a screen.
Oh.
So they show you different things and they help promote independence.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
So we're going to talk to the Echo Show and we're going to ask it a few questions. Okay?
All right.
So, Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Milwaukee, it's 31 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies. Throughout the day, you can expect more of the same, with a high of 37 degrees and a low of 24 degrees.
And whenever you get tired of listening to her, you can just say, Alexa, stop. And you can just kind of shut her up. The other thing that you might notice is that there's this little hand down here at the bottom.
Yes.
So if you don't want to talk to her, you can actually use her with touch. So if I want to do the weather again, I can hit the weather.
Currently, in Milwaukee,
And it's the same
31
thing.
degrees Fahrenheit
And I
with
can
mostly
say,
sunny skies.
Alexa, stop.
Does it have music?
And yes, it's a smart speaker, so yes, it plays music. What kind of music do you like?
I like heavy metal.
Okay, so why don't you ask it to play some heavy metal?
Alexa, can you play heavy metal music, please?
The station, Hard Rock and Metal, free on Amazon Music.
I like that.
Okay, and if you really want to jam, you can raise the level of the volume.
Really?
Alexa, volume 6.
Wow, that is.
And we can go all the way to volume 10 if we wanted to.
That is sweet. I can definitely do. Yeah!
And you got your lyrics and everything too.
That is sweet. That's awesome. Oh.
So music is always like the #1 thing that people like to use them for, and you can. That's just playing free music too. It's just playing Amazon free music. So if you subscribe to like Pandora or Spotify, it can actually play your playlists and things like that too.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
So you can do whatever you want. And there's other things you can do with it to promote independence. So do you ever like to have reminders to do things?
Yes, I do.
What kind of things do you like to use reminders for?
Appointments.
Okay, so you can use reminders for appointments, and you can also use a calendar for appointment. So if you had an appointment that you wanted to keep track of, you could say, Alexa, add an event to my calendar.
Sure. What day and time?
Tomorrow at 10 a.m.
And what's the name of the event?
Physical therapy. So it's that easy. And then you can see it. You could actually see it on the app on your phone if you have the Alexa app on your phone, and so you could keep track of it. If your mom had access to your calendar, she could see that appointment and stuff too. So it's very useful for that. If I wanted to, instead of using a calendar and I wanted to do a reminder, I could do that as well.
Neat.
So for instance, let's say that you just started a load of laundry.
Okay.
And you want to remind yourself, okay, in 45 minutes I better switch and put it in the dryer. I could do that too. So I could say, Alexa, remind me in 45 minutes to put my clothes in the dryer.
Okay, I'll create a reminder to go off in 45 minutes.
Do you want to add a reminder?
Sure. Alexa, please remind me to go to physical therapy at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
I'll create a reminder for tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Do you ever cook?
I want to learn how to cook.
Okay. So what would you like to learn how to cook?
Well, for instance, macaroni and cheese.
Okay. So Alexa can help you find recipes too. So Alexa, find me recipes for macaroni and cheese.
Finding some macaroni and cheese recipes. Okay, for macaroni and cheese.
So do any of those look good to you?
Yeah.
Which one looks good? Okay, so it's got the recipe there. And you can scroll and you've got the directions. And then it also shows the ingredients. So you can save that recipe if you want to, and you can also add your ingredients to your shopping list.
Okay, I have added all ingredients to your shopping list.
So the other thing that you can do with Alexa is you can have your shopping list on there. And so I can say, Alexa, show me my shopping list.
Here's your shopping list.
But I can add things to my shopping list. So Alexa, add elbow macaroni to my shopping list.
I've put elbow macaroni on your shopping list.
So you see how the items just get added?
That is nice.
So then I have that app with me when I go shopping, and so I actually have all of the ingredients for my macaroni and cheese as well as the other items with me when I go shopping. And then if I wanted to, I have from the app, I can actually take my phone and I can air print it. So I could actually send it to my printer if I prefer to just take a hard copy with me to the store. So I think you're starting to see that a lot of this could really help with independence.
Yes.
And help with my memory and all sorts of other types of things. So the speaker's fun. The music is probably the most fun, but the other things can actually be really useful too.
Oh, yes, I agree. There's one more thing I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Can I ask Alexa if you can find restaurants?
Yes.
Oh,
I
sweet.
found a few restaurants.
Oh. What kind of, is it a particular restaurant that you're interested in, or? just the
Salad.
type? Salad, okay.
Alexa, what kind of restaurants have salads?
I found a few options for that. Noodles and Company, 0.9 miles away on East Ogden. Aladdin City Cafe, 0.3 miles away on North Broadway.
So if you notice when it gave that information,
Yeah.
it identified where it was, it identifies the hours, and then it gives the location, the phone number, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
and then you can click on it. So you can get all sorts of information, which is really helpful. And then it does give kind of the cost, so it $1 sign or $2 sign, so you get additional information about it.
Oh, sweet.
So it's really helpful that way. So if you have it linked to your Amazon Prime, you can place shopping orders and things like that too. So the only other thing that I would mention would be that you can use it for timers. So if you're cooking or you do other types of things, you can set a timer. And in fact, you can set multiple timers.
How do you set a timer?
So I can say, Alexa, set a 30-minute timer.
30 minutes. starting now.
Alexa, set a 10-minute timer.
Second timer, 10 minutes, starting now. Do you want to name this timer?
Yes.
What do you want to call it?
Washing.
Okay, I'll call it a washing timer. 10 minutes, starting now.
So I can have multiple timers going.
Oh.
So if I'm cooking, that can be really helpful. And then the other really helpful thing for the device is that it is a smart speaker, so it is smart, so it interacts with all sorts of other smart home technology that you might have. So if you have smart lights, or if you have smart sensors, or if you have other smart speakers in your house, if you have a smart thermostat, it can talk to all of those devices and you can integrate them together. And so you can control them with voice, or you can control them with the touch and all of those types of things. So you can integrate all the devices in your home, and you can just make everything work together in a smart way. So it's really a useful device, and so you can use it however it works best for you. So Rach, hopefully you enjoyed the Echo shows. We're gonna look at another piece of tech. This one is very different. What we're gonna do is we're gonna walk into our sensory room, and the piece of technology that's in there is part of our sensory cocoon. It's a bubble tube. This particular piece is a very expensive bubble tube, but there are much less expensive options that you could use in your home. This one would be something that would be more on the scale that you would use in a day program or a school, or even a doctor's office. But like I say, there's much less expensive options that could be used in a home. And they're used for calming, for or maybe like a de-escalation if someone is having a behavior incident. But they're just a really cool sensory experience. So I want you to experience it with me, okay? So let's go in there next, okay?
All right.
Okay, excellent. So, so this is our bubble tube. So
Yes.
you can see, obviously, you have the sounds of it, you have the color, you have the full sensory experience.
Yes.
And then because of how this one is set up, you actually have the mirror and the cushion and everything.
Yes.
So this is an expensive one. There's less expensive ones that you
Right.
can have. This one is secured within the tube on the floor. There are anchors in certain models that you can have it anchored and secured to the wall.
Oh.
If you're worried about it tipping over. But you can get really small ones that are only 3 or 4 feet high that you can have in your home.
Right.
And those can be as inexpensive as $100 or so.
Oh.
So they're affordable that you can have at home. And there's actually affordable options that you can have with a lava lamp. So it's a similar type of thing. It may not have as much sound. So this one is neat in that it has the color and the sound and that full sensory experience. And like you were just doing, where you touch it and you just can kind of just experience that. And as part of that whole sensory experience, it's just kind of calming and soothing. This one, because of kind of the bells and whistles that go with it, you can change the color. So I can change the color here and do different things. So it's really kind of fun.
That's amazing.
So there's even a way I can rotate this. So it's really kind of a neat thing. And you can have it change its colors to music and stuff as well.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
So you could see how you could just go into your room with this bubble tube, and if you've had a tough day, it could just really be a calming influence. And if you had a small lava lamp, that could give you a similar experience, not quite at the same scale.
Right.
But it could again be very calming. So it could be used in a school setting as well by teachers. They could have something set up in, like with a beanbag chair or something like that. But part of this is the color, but the sound of the bubbles, I think, is also part of that experience.
Well, I absolutely love it.
So how do you feel as part of this experience?
It feels like everything is just like calm. My body's calm. My mind is calm.
It's almost like a yoga, a deep breath kind of experience.
Yes. Yes, I mean, it's like having, doing the yoga without actually doing the yoga. Or even having, like, a weighted blanket on you, like, without even using that. This feels good. It feels great. I have sensory processing disorder.
Okay.
I have it to I have it to sound, mostly sound. The sounds just make my sensory input go higher,
Okay.
where I can't focus on everything. Like, let's say there were birds outside flying, I could hear them and they would distract me. I also have to touch, to taste as well. And I use a weighted blanket at home, at my house, for night. It helps calm me, it helps me sleep. I also think that also if you have one of these, it'll calm you right down. Because I have that issue a lot. And it's hard to regulate your body when you have those sensory issues, because there's heightened ones and there's low
Right.
sensory ones.
Yeah, they either say heightened, like hyper,
Yeah.
or lower ones are hypo.
Yeah.
So it's that same type of thing, and it could be visual, it could be auditory, it could
Yes.
be touch, it could be smell. And so depending on which ones work for you, this might be very helpful because it addresses the
Yes.
sound and it addresses the sight, and you could even have it where it addresses the touch. So this
Yes.
or a lava tube or something like that could be very helpful in helping you calm down,
Yes.
going into a quiet room and something like that.
Yes, I'd actually think that they should do more of this at doctors' offices. Because I know a lot of, or even the dentist's office, because I know a lot of people who have this, way older adults who have it, who are still afraid to go to the dentist, and I think this would be a great option for them to just look at it, and just use it calming.
Right, and they have talked about putting this in various waiting rooms and
good.
other types of modalities for that purpose. And I think a lot of times that's why sometimes you see doctors and dentist offices having fish tanks. It's that same type of thing with that bubble, that aeration experience, but the bubble tube in itself has a lot less upkeep than a fish tank does. So it might be a
Yes.
nice option for that.
Yes, I agree. Oh, I just love this.
So it's interesting that you brought up the using this device to calm individuals in a waiting room, in a medical office, or in a dental office, because the next piece of technology that we wanted to show is a smart toothbrush. And that smart toothbrush can help address some of that anxiety that you might have with dental hygiene, which addresses some of the sensory challenges that you might have with taking care of your teeth. And so we want to show you that device too and get your reactions and input on that piece of technology.
That sounds awesome.
So we talked about some of the challenges with oral hygiene for people with intellectual and developmental disability. So we want to talk about the smart toothbrush. But if we think about the challenges with oral hygiene and the relevance for that, not only do you have the oral sensation and some of the challenges that introduces, but you can also have challenges with respect to mobility, which can make going to the dentist difficult because you have to transfer out of a wheelchair and into the dentist chair. But those mobility challenges can also affect fine motor skills, which can affect grasp, which can make holding a toothbrush difficult. And so the smart toothbrush, you'll see how that can be easier to grasp. The other challenges that you have that can affect oral care are also reflux issues, and that can be a problem and can affect oral care and the need for brushing. But regardless, smart, good brushing habits are really important for anyone, but certainly the smart toothbrush can be helpful for an individual with intellectual and developmental disability. So we want to talk about the smart toothbrush, and I want to get your perspectives on what you think about this toothbrush, Rach, okay?
All right.
So this is a smart toothbrush, an AI toothbrush by OralB. It comes in this interesting little travel case, and the travel case also has a charging option with respect to it. So you just plug the charger either into the base or into the travel case, and you can use it with respect to that. So you can see that that's kind of a nice option for you. And then this is the toothbrush. So it has a nice option here, so it's easy to grab. So you think of your regular toothbrush with the very narrow handle. That's difficult to grab. This one's really easy to grab. And then it's got your typical, power on kind of option that you would have with any electric toothbrush. So it looks like a basic electric toothbrush, but it's smart. And so the smart option comes in the app. And so we're going to just show you the app itself on an iPad tablet, but it could easily be on your phone itself. So this is the app. It's called OralB. And if we were to brush, we would hit the brush now and we would take a look at that. But what I want to show is some of what it gives you in terms of the history, because this is really where its power is. So it gives you the option to look at your coverage of how you're doing.
Oh.
So you can see here that you can look at your coverage of how good a job you did when you were brushing your teeth. So you can look at a weekly report, you can look at a monthly report, or you can do a yearly report. So that allows you to share how well you did or didn't do over time with your parents or with your dentist. So you can show them that you're improving, which is a good thing. So you would probably see that in terms of reduced cavities and that type of thing, but you can also just kind of look and see, I'm getting better with this toothbrush. And so I know when I go to the dentist the next time that I'm going to get a better report and I'm going to get fewer cavities. I can also look at not just how well I'm covering my teeth with my toothbrush, but I can also get information with respect to, am I exerting too much pressure? Am I pushing too hard? And so that's a good thing. So if you're pressing too hard, that's not good for your teeth or for your gums. And then they get information with respect to the brush time. So it actually tells you how long you brushed your teeth. So you have that history. So you should brush for at least 2 minutes, but you can see exactly how long you brushed. And then it gives you information with respect to when it's time for you to change your brush heads. So you should be changing your brush heads typically at minimum every 3 months, but you can change it more frequently than that if you're doing a good job of brushing twice a day, like what the dentist actually recommends that you do. So what we're going to do in a little bit is we're actually going to have Rach brush your teeth with this, so you'll get some feedback for us on what you think of it. Have you ever used an electric toothbrush before?
I have, yes. And I love it.
Yeah. What's good about it?
Well, it has a smaller brush size, so because I have a smaller mouth, it gets up in the back easier in the bottom, and it's just awesome. I love it.
Okay, great. So when we have you do this, we've got a clean brush head for you to try, and then when we have you use it, we're going to hold up the app so you can actually see, and you'll be able to track when you're doing this where you are. So it will see if you're on your bottom teeth, and if you're in the front, or if you're in the back of your teeth on the right or the left side, and it'll track when you move and transition to the front of your teeth, etc. And when you're done, it'll tell you what your coverage was over the various aspects of your mouth, and it'll give you a score at the end. So I know you mentioned earlier that you have 2 brothers. So if you were younger and your brothers were still living at home, you could actually be in a competition. And so there's a gamification aspect of this. And so you could actually say, I got a 97 on my toothbrushing and you only got an 86. But you could actually, trade scores on your toothbrushing and kind of try and make toothbrushing fun, which I'm sure your dentist would appreciate.
That's cool.
Okay. So Rach, what did you think?
I liked it.
So here's your feedback. So this is how you covered your mouth. So you do a good job of seemingly of covering your front teeth, your side. So it looks like on your top teeth that you cover the right side a little bit better than the left side. And on your bottom teeth you cover the left side a little bit better than your right side. At least the one time that you used this particular toothbrush. So
yes.
Was it distracting looking at this when you're brushing your teeth? Or?
Yeah, kind of.
So the practice would be a little bit easier each time you'd get a little bit more practice, yeah.
Yes, totally. I also think the feature that shows you
the pressure?
Yeah, how much pressure you did.
So it looks like based on this that it was really on your bottom teeth where you were pressing a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
And so that's good feedback to have too. And it might be that you're pressing too hard just because of the angle of the brush or how you're gripping it and those types of things. But that is good feedback to have. And it's nice that you're getting immediately while you're doing it, which is really important feedback.
Yes, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so you've got the brush time and stuff that you had, and you've got your overall brush score. So great to get that real-time feedback.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. What feedback was the most helpful to you?
I would say knowing where you brushed and missed,
Okay.
and also how much pressure you got on it. That was the most helpful,
Okay.
because if you don't know how much pressure, you're damaging your teeth or damaging your gums,
Okay.
and that's a really good thing to know.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know that before you do damage. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And the nice thing too is that knowing when you actually did a good enough job and you can move on to the other areas of focus. So what did you
Yes.
think of the size of the brush head? Did it work for your smaller mouth, or do you think you need something different?
I think I need something different.
Okay.
But it was soft, which I love.
Okay.
The bristles were nice. Just need a smaller brush head, I
Okay.
think.
Okay. So it's an interesting concept. So a smart toothbrush might be right for your loved one. So something to look into. OralB has several models. There's probably other brands that are out there as well. Something to keep in mind, and certainly good hygiene is a good thing to start with, and you can start young, but it's never too late to start. So it's a great tool to have out there. So thank you, Rach, for being with us today. It was wonderful to have you experience this technology and to see how it might help you and your continued independence and growth as one of our very proud graduates of Abelite College. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, that was amazing. That's a lot of incredible information, and Rach was so helpful in showing that off for us. It resonated for me in particular because I have two children on the autism spectrum, and both of which have sensory processing disorder. So I can see how something like that bubble tube would be really impactful.
It's something simple that people don't think of, and certainly you don't have to go to something that's as expensive as the one that we have here. There's cheaper options, and you can do a lava lamp, and there's simple things you can do in your home that can really make a difference. And the lava lamp can be nice and calming, and you can incorporate that into the bedtime routine. You can use that in conjunction with music, and you can have that on a timer so it turns out at a certain point at night. And so just having that as part of that routine, and I think routine is important as well.
Yeah, I think what struck me is how simple it is to utilize this technology with a simple Wi-Fi connection in your own home. How you could go and pick up one of these technologies today and utilize it almost immediately for great impact.
Right, and you just have to know your son or your daughter and what their needs are, and then get the right technology in place. And you're right, it doesn't take much to do it, and you can make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
We've been using some of this technology and lots more for the people that we support in our group homes and also at our cornerstone villages. And we've really seen the impact that it can provide, advancing their transition living skills, advancing their independence, and really promoting safety and security as well. And it's really exciting to see the impact that it has.
And I feel like we're only scratching the surface with what we've been able to accomplish with smart technology in terms of impacting people's lives. I know that we have given you so much to think about today, and hopefully we've given you ideas that you can incorporate into your home immediately. If you have questions about technology or anything else that we've discussed today, we want to hear from you. Just go to the website that is listed on the screen to contact us for more information. In the meantime, we also invite you to sign up for Abelite's Empowerment blog. It's chock full of information to help you and your loved one thrive. And there's more information and more ideas, from assistive technology to self-advocacy to TV shows and movies featuring people with developmental disabilities. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Allison.
And I'm Barb.
And we'll see you next time.